Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lulua Tech Designs, and I'm your boy Lulua Mark, and we are here with the first project, and today we want to learn how to set up a new project in Revit. Revit is an architectural design software, so we shall learn how to start up a new project from scratch, and of course all the navigations that we shall need to move through with the new project from scratch up to the end. But the purpose of this video is basically to set up a new project. It's very important because well, that is the start. It's always the start that will set you up for something great. So this is the interface of Revit. This is Revit 2026, the latest version. But even if you have 2025, 2024, they may really look similar with not much difference. But of course, you see on our left, we have the models. There's the open button, the new button. We also have families. We have the open and new. Then the recent projects, they're here. You can see them on the display. But of course, we're interested in starting up a new project. So if you want to start a new project, you come to your models. You see the models here. You click on this new button. Click on this new button. It will pop up this new project menu. So from here, for some people, when you click on this drop down, you'll be able to see different templates here, and among which is the architectural template. If you find that one there, you select the architectural template. But if yours doesn't have the templates here, if you only have these ones, what you need to do here is to click on this browse button, then you come to this preview button. Then here you double click on the English, then you select this default metric. You should be able to see these three dots here. Then you click on open. Then it will now give us this default metric here. The extension is .rte. From here you click OK. You remember it's project, not project template. We are going with the project. It has to be the one checked. You click OK. It will open up a new project in Revit, and you should be able to see these four kind of dots, but these elevation marks, to show the different sides, the north, east, south, and west. So this is the interface of Revit 2026, but of course even 2025, 2024, they look the same. There are really slight differences that you can find in these softwares with the updates that have come in. So on our left, you should be able to see the properties with all these different things that you will learn with time. They look many, but really they are not difficult things to learn. Then on the right, we have project browser. In some scenarios, you'll find the project browser is not here. For example, let me just put it here like that. For some people, they might not have the project browser on the right as it is right now. And when you see on the left, the project browser is sitting down or below the properties. So if that is the case, then you don't have to worry. It's just a matter of you placing it where you want to have it. So for me, I always prefer to be on the right so that the properties can take the whole of this left side. So you just grab it from here like that. You move it wherever you want. You can even put it here and you still do your work normally. But it is proper or better to have it here. You just take it a little bit outside, you drop it, it will pop up like this, and Your workspace will be here. Now you can see all the properties in the project browser. And sometimes when you don't have it completely like this, you come to your properties, you don't see the project browser, you come to your right side, you don't see the project browser, you start panicking. You don't need to panic. All you need to do is just right click on your, anywhere actually, you just right click on the interface, you come to browsers, this part here. From browsers you click on project browser, it will bring back the project browser where it is supposed to be. So that is how you can be able to find your project browser. And then from the top here we have the menu. There are a lot of tools that you will see up here, but of course now it doesn't make a lot of sense to explain all these tools when we are not using them, but it is much proper to explain them when you are doing something with them. For example, the wall tool is for creating walls, the door tool is for doors, window tool is for windows, components for components. You can model in place, you can place components. Components still include doors, windows, chair, all those components that you might find inside the house or even outside. And then the roof, ceiling, floor, curtain system, curtain grid, mullion, railings, all these you will be able to interact with them in some of the projects that we shall have. And of course we have projects that already have these tools in use, so you will have to check through our playlist and you should be able to see some of the projects where we have used some of these tools. A simple setup that we want to do, first of all, if you want to start a new project, at this point now we have already created a template. Now it's time to start up a project. In your project browser, you can select any of these elevations. For example, the east, the north, south, west, any. For example, let me just double click on the north. It will show you these two lines. These are elevation lines, or they are levels. You can also call them levels. It shows you the floor to floor height. So the height from here to up here is the height of the house from one level to the other. So you can change these levels the way you want. For example, I can just click on this line, then I click on this name. I can change it to, let's say, ground level, just like that. Of course, the ground level is always at 0. You can't change this, though it is changeable. You can change it, but the ground level has to be at 0. And then this one here, I can change it to anything else. I can say first floor, just like that. And then you can change the floor to floor height the way you want. For example, if I click on this, I can change to 3.5 or 3 meters. Now 3.5 means 3,500 millimeters, but it is 3.5 meters. You know that 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters. But here we write things in millimeters. That's why you have to write it fully like this. Even if I write here 3.5 in meters, 3.5 like this, and I put the M, I click enter, it will be able to generate for me the same 3,500 millimeters, because we are reading in millimeters. So this is how you can edit your level. Of course, you can place a new level. For example, if I click here, or if I come to architecture, which is on our left here, I move all the way to the right, I should be able to see levels here. And the shortcut is LL. When I click on that, you see the mouse is active and it's ready to draw a new level. So I can start from here and move here. When I see these dotted lines, these dotted blue lines, that means I am already aligned perfectly with these previous lines. So I can click there, it will place a new level and it will automatically take a number of its own. But of course 3.5 by 3.5 should be 7 meters, not really 6.5. But it doesn't mean that all your levels are going to be like this. You might have a shorter wall to floor height at some level, or you can have a lot. For example, the mezzanine space, if you're creating a mezzanine space, it may have like double floor to floor height. So this I can just name it as a second floor, like that. So this is how you can edit your floor or levels. Apart from going to architecture and then looking for that, you can also just double click. You can click LL twice on your keyboard. It will give you the levels. Or you can just click on one level line. You come to this create similar, which is the CS. Then it will also still do for you the same work. So I think that is how you can basically set levels or elevations. So we can, I think, close that and go to something else. Now, for example, the next thing I will want us to learn is how to set up a wall. Before you start creating a wall, you need to do some setting. So you come to architecture, you see the wall here, you don't just click on this wall. You click on this drop down and the wall tool has the shortcut WA. When you see any tool here has a drop down, that means there are more items that are hidden in that drop down. So you click to reveal the items and you see what is inside. Now we have these different walls. There's wall architectural, wall structural, wall by face. We are only interested in the first one, that's wall architectural, because that's what we want to achieve. So you click on that. Before you start drawing, you come to this edit type. You see this? You click on this edit type. From here it will show you the type properties. Now here you have to click on this duplicate. Click on duplicate. You should be able to rename this wall the way you want. So for me, I like renaming it as main wall, just like that. Then you click OK. Then when you come to the parameters and the values, below the value you click on edit, and what you are going to edit is the structure. So you click on edit. From here you'll see the structure is showing the functionalities, the structure, the priority is 1, the material is by category, then the thickness is 200 millimeters. Now if you want to create a wall of 200 millimeters, you can do a lot of things here. For example, I can use these buttons. There's insert, there's duplicate, there's delete, there's up and down. So you see that these are layers. This side is the exterior side, down side is the interior side. I can decide to insert more functionalities here. So for example, I can just say insert, then I can move. Let me just move this one down. You click here, you move it down with this button that is saying down. Then when I click on this functionality, the first structure here, I can change this to finish. This down one, I can change it to finish too. Now why am I doing this? When they are building a house, especially the wall. The wall comes with basically three components. There's the superstructure, that is the common brick that is used for building the house. The brick, the mortar, it raises the house. That is the first thing they always do. After building the wall, they will come and put plaster and also painting. Now, these two finishes, the first finish and the second finishes, comprise of the plaster and the paint, and that's why they are putting, or they are surrounding the superstructure in the middle. So now you can give them thickness, because without thickness they will not be visible. So I can say this one should take like 10 millimeters, that is plaster plus painting. This one can also take 10 millimeters. Then the superstructure can be 180. In total they will give you 200. This is 10, 10, that's 20 plus 180, that will be 200. Now you can create your custom material, or you can create your own material, because you want to build your house with the kind of material available to you, or you can decide to have a unique material of your choice, and you have the freedom to create it here in the materials panel or column. So when I just click on this by category, it will pop up something like this, and from here you can create your own material. You come to this part here, you click on it, you come to create new material, then you right click on this default new material you have just created, you rename it. There are options here, there's duplicate, but you can just rename. You say you can now name it anything you want. For example, I can say white color. Of course, you will only see the finished product. So the white color, we have on our right identity. You ignore this. There's graphics. This graphics, there are moments you can ignore it, but there are moments you will need it. For example, if you want to see your design in shaded, you should be able to give the graphics the color you want to see. And the advantage with the shaded is it makes the work lighter, so you'll prefer to design your work when it is in shaded. So it's better you also give the colors that you are going to use in your final outlook in this graphics as well. Now the color here, since we're saying it is white, I can choose white like this. Then I just click OK. And then when you come to appearance is where you'll be able to get the assets. By assets I mean the paint and all the materials. So when you come to this button here, this smaller button, you click on it, it will open the asset browser. In the asset browser, now you can see all the kind of assets you have here. When I search for paint, it will give me all the options of paints that I want to use. We already have some assets here, but we also have in the appearance library, there's by default, then there's finish, there's metal, there's metallic paints, all of them are here. We also have paints, so many paints here. There's wall paint, all these, there's wood, so gypsum board people normally use for ceilings. So when I come to wall paint, I can choose any kind of paint. You remember we selected white paint, so we can just look for a white paint. We have wheat, we have white, we have white. So we have different whites. When you highlight on it, you'll be able to see this small button here. When you click on it, it will open up, or it will display the kind of material you have selected here. Now if you're okay with this, you just close this asset browser, you click on this apply, then okay, you'll be able to see your material by category has now changed to the new material you have just created. You can do the same for all these other ones. For example, for the structure, I can just click on this. Then instead of creating a new material, I can also just look for the material direct from here. But of course, you'll want to create your unique material so that you can use it throughout your project. For example, I can say for the superstructure, I'm creating bricks. I need a brick. And we actually have bricks here. Since it is the common brick, I can simply just search for brick. It will give me these bricks. So I can click on that. You will see the brick is here, masonry. I'll just click apply. I'll click OK. The reason why I don't want to create a new material for this is because the brick itself is going to be covered by those two finishes, the first and the second, and those will be the colors that will be shown, even rendered. Then for the second finish, we can create a different color here. We just go to this, create a new material, rename it to maybe gray paint or gray color. Color and paint are really the same. By default, the graphics is in gray, so we can leave it like that. Then in the appearance, you remember this button to open the asset browser. And of course, we are looking for still more paint. And this time we're going for the gray one. We have black, we have gray. They are all here. So I can simply close this asset browser. I'll click apply, OK. Then you see we have customized our wall the way we want it to be. Up here you'll see the family's basic wall. The type is the name we gave it, which is the main wall. The thickness is 200, and the resistance and these ones you can ignore them. So now here, when you are done with this, you can simply click OK. Then you'll be able to see the first interface that was popped up when you wanted to start a new wall editing. Now here you simply click apply, or you can still even give it graphics here. This graphics is basically what you will see in the floor plan when you're designing your floor plan. So when I click OK, I'll be ready to start creating a wall. Just like that, you can draw a wall. That's already a complete house. A square, that's a room. So if you want to see this house in a 3D where it really appears like a house, you come to the top part of this menu, and then you'll see this default 3D view. You click on it and it will be able to show you this. This is the wall we have just created, and this wall is in a form that can only be shown. I think this is a wireframe. Now when you come down here, we have some visual styles. It is showing actual hidden line. When you click on this visual style, you remember I talked about shaded. When I click on shaded, I'll be able to see the color that we gave in the graphics. Remember the graphics, and I remember the first finish was white and the second finish was gray, and you can see the gray color here and the white color outside here. the exterior and the interior. So this is how you can have your house drawn. So I can simply I can put a door here. I just come to architecture, I click on door, and I'll be able to find these doors. And you can only do that in the ground floor. Click on the ground floor, you place the door will only highlight when it has detected a wall. So you click on that, it will place a door. And now when your cursor is active like this and you want to do something else, you click on your escape key on your keyboard, or you right click here, you click cancel until the button is free to do another work. Now you see the door is here. When you come to the 3D, you should be able to see your door here. You see, that is how you place a door. And of course, this door you can customize it again the way you want. For example, if I click on it, I come to this edit type, I can say I want the height to be 2.5. I want the trim, the width. I want the width to be 2.5 also. That should be a very big door, something like that. Then functionality, these are the ones. For this case, you may not really do a lot. I'm seeing here material, hollow wood. You can change a few things here like that. Then when I click apply and OK, you'll see the door is now big. The door is really big. This wall is too high. Remember our floor to floor height, we set it at 3.5. So I can select all these by right clicking on one wall. You come to all instances. You can say visible in view or in entire project, wherever it is. Visible in view, you just change, you come to your properties, unconnected height, change it to 3.5. So like that it will come. You'll see that the door now makes sense in this. So that is how you can place a door. Then for window, you can simply also click on window, and of course still in the ground floor, you can click there, it will place a window. You can click there, it will place a window. Cancel, or you click escape on your keyboard until the mouse is ready for the next set of action. When I come to the 3D, I should be able to see my windows here. They look really tiny, but of course you can customize again. When I click on that, I come to edit type. Here I can say I want the window height to be, let's say, 1.2. And then I want the width to be big. I want the width to be maybe 1.8, like that. Apply, okay. You should be able to see window like that. And then I can click, I right click, I say all instances, entire project. I will change the head height to 2.5. It has to have the same head height with the door, because I know the door has the head height 2.5. Now you see here the windows are looking good, the door is looking good. That is how you design these things in Revit. But of course, these components like the door, the windows, unlike ArchiCAD, for Revit you need to download the ones that you prefer from websites like 3D Warehouse, Revit Library, SketchUp, and many more sites online that provide these components ready for you. Now you download, you just open it in Revit. Or for example, if I click on a door, it will give me this option that says load family. When I click on this load family, it will take me to my computer, and you will be able to look or search for the library I have. Unlike you, probably I already have my library that I've downloaded, most of them from 3D warehouse. So here I have those windows. I can simply pick any I want. For example, if I select, let me look for a door that I like using most. For example, this door is a big door. When I just click on it, I can add a double click or click on it and open from here. It will be able to give me the option to place this door, and it is still loading. These are heavy files, so they will make your work become heavy. Revit itself has very few components that you can really get from the Revit library. That's why you always need to know these websites that provide these components. So it's still loading. You give it some bit of time. That is how it is with these components that you download from third party. Now here you can come to your ground floor. The door is now active. I can simply place it here. Let me just cancel, come to 3D. You will now see the door here. This is a glass door. You see how nice it is. It looks better than this one that we have. That is why you will want to download these ones from online, because you can really search for them, and it gives you the exact kind of model or family you need. But of course, if you are an advanced learner or you are an advanced designer, you can model these yourself, because these are basically extrusions with sweeps. So when you understand extrusions and sweeps, you can easily model these families yourself. But of course, we can also customize this wall. For example, this door, if I want it to align, if I want it to have the same head height with the rest of these, because I know the head height here is 2.5, I'll just come to edit type. Then here, I'll just say this balcony height will be 2.5. I'll say apply. Okay. Wait for it. And you see it has jumped to that part. But I believe it is now from here you'll know it has jumped by 10. That means when I come back to edit type, this one will now be 2.490. That should create for us a uniform head height of 2.5. You see, that is now 2.5. This is 2.5. This is 2.5. So like this, you can be able to control a few things on this design. But of course, there are those components that can be edited. For example, if I click on this family, then you come to edit family, it will open some of the possible editable aspects that you can edit, but of course others cannot be edited. For example, if I click here, I can delete this, can delete that. Let me see, I can change a lot of things. For example, I can move this up and down like that. Then I can click on this. You can still edit. You see, this is just this seems to be like extrusion. Visibility setting, edit family. Let me see what family it was created from. Yeah, you can see here when I click on one, here you can now edit each component one by one. See that glass part, I can edit it alone. This part I can edit it alone. Things like that. See these ones, these are sweeps, you know. They created them using sweeps, others extrusions. So things like that. But of course, not all components are free to be edited. Some people create theirs, they lock them, you can't edit. I'll cancel this, no. Cancel this, no. Yeah, that is what you can do. But of course, there are so many other things that you can learn from Revit. But of course, the purpose of this video was to show you the basic startup in a Revit file. So from here, this one prepares you a perfect ground to start a new project. And of course, the next time we meet again, we will be able to learn how to create a whole house from scratch. And of course, if you really found this video useful, please make sure you subscribe to Lulua Tech Designs and share this with your friends, and comment, like, and share. And for me, I guess that is all for this video. I'll see you again in the next project. Thank you so much.